Bulavanaka, thanks for joining us for another week of Drua Talk with Greg Clark. Well, Suva did it again. A bumper crowd, the biggest ever for a Fijian Drua home game, turned out to watch the men take on the Hurricanes and the women take on the Western Force in an historic first ever semi-final in Fiji. The atmosphere was electric at times. The women got the job done and are through to their third consecutive final on Sunday. But the men blew their chances against the top of the table Hurricanes and their winning run at home ended. Now this week we chat with men's head coach Mick Byrne, women's coach Moses Rauluni, William Havili from Moana Pasifika as they prepare for the Battle of the Pacific against the Drua in Lautoka on Saturday, and Epeli Momo swings by Clarkie's corner. There's match highlights, tries of the week and much more. So sit back, relax and enjoy Drua Talk. Now first up, let's take in some highlights from the sold-out Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific clash in Suva between the unbeaten Hurricanes and the Swire-shipping Fijian Drua men.
Down Wayanga and Mike Winter on the touchlines. Game on in Suva, first time in the capital in 2024. Sell-out crowd, pretty good conditions, and it is the Drua. Karifi taken. They come to play. He's Rayasi. He kicks over the top. And the chase is on. Knock on advantage. And then it pops up to Billy Proctor. And it is a try to the Hurricanes. Bellatini. And Maxi. The ball on the inside was an absolute gem, and what about that?
Rapito, that was outstanding. Beautiful ball on the inside. That's exactly what... Byrne! Set! Hold!
Perenara puts it in, and they go to the short side. Try! So they've hit back immediately. Taken there by Kuravoli, first of all.
Advantage
being played here, so they can have a crack here and then come back if they need to. And here we go with Barrett. Jordy Barrett backing up brilliantly. O'Reilly finds Grant, the man on debut in the 4 jersey. Just getting a bit of momentum now. O'Reilly has it at the back. He breaks away and he's going to go across pretty much untouched. Perfect timing as well for the Hurricanes. They score on the stroke of half-time. That's their 4th try.
Come on.
Second half underway. Hurricanes looking to remain unbeaten in 2024. Canaveri goes to the back to Nasilasila. They set it up for the run ball. They're getting very close. They're over the line. They get the try. Perfect hit back from the Fijian Drua. Listen to the crowd.
Oh, it's definitely that crowd, but the accuracy on that throw from Ikanevere to hit Nasilasila at the back, and because the Hurricanes...
Two in the bin. 28 to 12. Keep an eye on the scoreline. Matawalu puts it in. Dalakai Vada's going to have a run from the back of the scrum. One out stuff and it spits out the back. And Matawalu! The referee wants to have a look. They're going to have a look. I think I heard Paul Williams ask Matawalu.
I don't have it clearly on the ground. So therefore, on-field decision is going to be no try held up. Just confirm that for us, please, mate.
They've contained him. They've shut down so many of the Drua's strike weapons.
Away now, boys.
Penalty. And he's got to go to the pocket, so another yellow card.
Too many.
Good take. Walker Leawuri. Straight back to O'Reilly, who's scored one try already. There's momentum there for the Hurricanes. This could be incredible. The ball ripped away from him, and it is a try to Xavier Numea. Oh, yeah.
Coming over to Suva and the way they won this game.
And the conversion is successful. So they left it till late to get the bonus point, but they got there. Just the one try at the second half, but it was more than enough because they had that very handy lead at half-time by 28 points to 7. Drua had plenty of opportunities, but just couldn't nail them. So 38 points to 15.
Well, it became very obvious why the Hurricanes are unbeaten, and even though they were down to 13 men at one stage, the Drua couldn't crack their defence. The Canes march on after a 38-15 win, scoring 5 tries to 2. The Reds kept a Kiwi franchise scoreless for the first time in 25 years, downing the Highlanders 31-0. The Blues thrashed another top 4 side, the Brumbies, 46-7, and the Force added more misery to the Crusaders campaign, winning 37-15 in Perth. So it's the Canes on top with 37 points, thanks to a perfect 8 from 8. They're 5 in front of the Blues. The Brumbies stay on 27, with the Rebels still 4th after their bye. Then it's the Chiefs, Reds, Drua and Moana rounding out the top 8. But the bottom 4 can't be written off yet. There's still a lot of rugby to be played. This is Drua Talk with Clarkie. It's time to chat with Drua men's head coach, Mick Byrne. Well, Mick, it was a massive week for you last week. Not only was your Drua playing the Hurricanes, but you were also confirmed as the new Flying Fijians coach. Congratulations again. And what's the actual plan for you moving forward?
Look, Clarkie, I think it's all brand new, and we've got a pretty big year to finish off here at the Drua, and then I'll move into that role after that. So I think all in all, where we're at on the ladder now after the sort of all the bye weeks, we're still in the 8, and it gives us a great chance to finish the season really strongly.
Now, it wasn't the result you were after against the Hurricanes in Suva, but it was a great occasion, the biggest crowd ever for a Drua home game, a sellout.
Yeah, I think it was great. I think everybody did a tremendous job right across the organisation. Getting everybody in the ground to start with, and the Super W final, our Drua women were awesome, and if you were going to script a way to get the crowd ready for a game, you'd probably script the way that the Drua women finished their final with a breakaway try to seal the game right on full time. So it got the crowd in the mood, and it was a great occasion.
Mick, what came out of the review for the men?
Well, I think I sent the stats around to a couple of friends overseas and predict the winner, and each one came back with saying, well, the only thing that I can see, there was some turnovers there, and so I think when we look at it, I think we asked the Hurricanes to make 279 tackles and they made 238. We had 28 defenders beaten. We made 4 clean line breaks. So that part of our game was really good, but then we had 21 errors, of which about 15 were unforced, and on 3 occasions those unforced errors resulted in tries. When you play the Hurricanes, great side, you just can't afford to give them that sort of opportunity, and they took it as good sides do. So while very disappointing, there are aspects of our game that was really good, and we gave away 6 penalties and no cards. We've been questioning our discipline over the last few weeks, and to give away 6 penalties and be on the receiving end of being 15 versus 13 rather than 13 versus 15. I thought we fixed that up. But with a young team that we have, and a very enthusiastic young team learning how to play and learning to get better, sometimes we fix one thing up and another thing pops up on the other side. So we're in our early stages of our careers, and we worked really hard on our discipline, and full credit to the players. They did that. But then something that's, when you look at the way we played against the Western Force and the way we handled there and the way we held the ball in that really wet conditions in Lautoka, to do some of the errors that we had on Friday night was, it was disappointing.
Well, it's already a great rivalry between the Drua and Moana, the Battle of the Pacific, as we like to call it. What lessons were learned from the Drua's narrow loss to Tanarumaga's men in the Super Round in Melbourne, week 2?
I think we started poorly, made a few errors. Moana started really well, and they're a big physical pack, and I think our lessons learnt there were to make sure that we are ready to go and be really physical from the start. And I think once we got stung into action there, we probably, a little offload there in the last minute of the game could have resulted in us getting a victory. Although if you were a Moana supporter, you would have thought that was probably not fair, because Moana did play very well and earned their victory, but we still had a chance to beat them after a poor start. So we just need to make sure we start well. They're a physical team. They're going to come here, and it is the Battle of the Pacific. That's why, as we've said many times, that's why it's called Super Rugby Pacific and not Super Rugby anymore. These two sides have changed the course of professionalism in the Southern Hemisphere, and they'll be on show, and every time we play them there's great rugby being played, and it's always pretty tight as well.
Mick, thanks for joining us again. All the best for Lautoka on Saturday. Should be another big day out for the players and the fans alike. See you there. Vinaka.
Vinaka, Clarkie, look forward to seeing you.
Yes, the Swire shipping Fijian Drua are back in action at Churchill Park in Lautoka on Saturday, taking on Moana Pasifika at 2 p.m. It should be a bumper crowd, so purchase your tickets early. And now let's hear from Moana Pasifika playmaker William Havili. Well, Vinaka, William, you're coming off the bye, so has it been business as usual, or did you get a bit of a break?
Yeah, had a decent break back home in Nelson for me. It was good to get back home and see my family and spend time with my partner who lives away from me at the moment. She's at university. Did a little road trip up to Dunedin to get her back to uni, and then flew back to Auckland, and just pretty much business as usual for me.
Now, you're in the top 8 as we head into the business end of the tournament. So do you give yourselves a pass mark so far?
Yes and no. We felt like we let a few games slip, especially that Highlanders and Rebels game. We were right in the Highlanders game for up to 60 minutes, and just a few key moments we let slip, and that Rebels game was probably just our poor start that let us down there.
This week, it's a Drua away. There have already been some great matches between the two sides. What is it that brings out the best in the teams?
I think we just both like playing attacking rugby, so like run from anywhere, and it's always nice weather over in Lautoka when we played over there last year, especially last year. That was a high scoring match, and both sides just really want to put on a show for the fans over in Fiji.
Moana versus Drua, already a great rivalry. Do you love playing your Pacific brothers?
Yeah, it's always a fierce battle on the field. They're tough competitors, they're hard ball runners, but they're the nicest people off the field as well, so that's also what I love about playing the Fijians.
William, thanks very much for your time. We'll see you in Lautoka on Saturday. Bring your sunscreen. Hopefully it's going to be a dry track. Vinaka.
Thanks, Clarkie. Thanks for having me. I'll see you in Lautoka. Vinaka.
We are back to 6 games a week now that the bye rounds have been completed. Friday, it's the Crusaders and the Rebels in Christchurch, and the Waratahs host the Chiefs in Sydney. Saturday, the Drua play Moana in Lautoka, 2 p.m. kickoff. The Brumbies clash with the unbeaten Hurricanes in Canberra. The Highlanders play the Force in Dunedin, and the Reds and the Blues clash in Brisbane. Some great rugby is on the way yet again. Well, it was a history-making night in Suva last Friday when the Rooster Chicken Fijian Drua hosted a first-ever semi-final in Fiji in front of a massive crowd for a Super Rugby women's game. It was the first match in the big double-header, and at the 60-minute mark there were already 11,000 fans in the stadium, and they made plenty of noise. Here are the highlights.
Yeah, they're loving it. They've got the fields, they've got the facilities, they've got the gym and everything, so I think it's making a real difference in their preparation and their season so far.
Wow, let's Listen to the roar for the Fijian Drua women. The semi-final is underway in Suva. And this one sets it up again. Kasharagi and a big tackle coming in from Karavata. But advantage is being played. Ebich.
No, we're not going anywhere. Time off.
Referee wants time off.
Okay, 1 green, please, and captain. Okay. So into the tackle, you're always high. No attempt to drop your body height. You made indirect contact to the head. It'll be a yellow card.
Wow. Short side. And Milania finally with a bit of room to move. Coming back on the inside, they don't bring it down. Milania, Adita with the ball, lays it back.
Advantage.
Advantage is being played. Can they get it wide to the speedsters? There's Byrne with the fend, and she is over!
You're always going to be penalised, so just being able to tighten that inside hip up, connection with the hooker will make things better for them.
And then play on it is, and it is a try to the Western Force, and it's Suatiti Maaki. Well, she played to the whistle.
Numbers, please.
Pick and go. Desperate defence required by the Western Force. Who wants it?
Hands up, hands up.
Anna Koravana's going to back herself. And over she goes. It is a try. A try to the Fijian Drua right on the stroke at half time. The crowd, wow, they love it. And the conversion attempt. Oh, it's missed again. So, off the tee. It's been a bad first half for the Drua. Big inclusion there. Matilla Tawaki, former captain, has come off the bench for the Drua. She's been playing for Waikato. And Vossa, they continue to work to the short side. Rauluni got the ball away to Buna! The flying Buna! Buna the bullet! Call you up! Oh my goodness, she has got jet shoes.
Yeah, she's in again. She scored in the first half. I said it won't be the last one she's got, and she's got 5 in the last 3 games. Get the ball into her hands, and I think the Drua will do really well this game.
They're going to put it through the hands. Buna. Straight through. Let the crowd tell the story yet again. Bullet Buna. The Wonder Woman with the jet shoes. And she runs the Fijian Drua women into another decider.
Outstanding.
Hat-trick.
Oh, hat-trick for Buna. She is world-class.
The Fijian Drua women. Kanita. It's over. And it is full time. The party won't go forever because there's still the men's game to come. The Drua and the Hurricanes. But for now, it is a joyous crowd. Yes, the three-peat is still on track for the Fijian Drua women. They were too good for the Western Force, advancing through to the final for the 3rd year in a row, winning 25-14 off the back of that Buna hat-trick. What a star she is. In the other semi, the unbeaten Waratahs down the Brumbies 47-27. So, the top 2 teams after the regular season will clash in the decider on Sunday at Ballymore in Brisbane. 4 p.m. kickoff Fiji time, Waratahs versus the Drua. Don't miss it. Thanks for joining us for Drua Talk with Clarkie, and it's always great to chat to the head coach of the Drua women, Moses Rauluni. Bulla Moses, congratulations. How are the nerves? Have they settled down after that semi-final win?
Yeah, I think they've settled down now. During the game, it was a bit unnerving. It was quite tough watching, but the girls came away with the win at the end, but I think we made it hard for ourselves, and I've settled right down now, and now it's time to move on to the final.
Now that you've had some time to review it, how did you rate the Drua's performance?
Probably not as good as we wanted. We made it, as I said, we made it hard for ourselves. A lot of mistakes, penalties at the breakdown where we said we wanted to try and fix up, and we put Western Force in our half and put pressure on us. So the big thing will be this week, we'll be working on that breakdown, and the speed of our clean out was too slow. Our reaction times and just some probably questionable, decision making in our own half, trying to play when we should have probably put boot to ball.
Poor goal kicking was a major issue. How much work will go into fixing that between now and the final on Sunday?
I think it was one of those things where we were just unlucky where both of our goal kickers had an off day. Everyone has an off day, and unfortunately our two best goal kickers had an off day, and it showed. It cost us 11 points, and could have been a better score, and probably I'd have more hair on my head.
Well, the Waratahs have been consistent all the way through the season. How much has the Drua improved since the Week 2 loss to the Tars? It's a big gap to close, isn't it?
Massive gap, and the Waratahs have been the benchmark all season, and every team's felt it. As their undefeated record shows. So, grand final's all about who turns up and who takes those opportunities. And if we don't take those opportunities, the Waratahs will punish us. And every opportunity we get is like gold. So we've got to make the most of it and try and execute it as best as possible and come away with points on the board.
Ballymore in Brisbane is a neutral ground for both teams, but are you expecting a large Fijian community in South Queensland to be there in support?
Very much so. Obviously, for myself growing up there, we played the Reds in the first round, and it was like a home game there. There's so many Fijians that turned out, and I know when we play New South Wales this weekend, even Queenslanders will come out and support us. So it's going to be a massive match, and I'm glad we're playing there, and I know the Fijian fans will turn out and support us like they did in Suva. Like Suva was outstanding. The support there was really pushed the girls along through that game, and I'm really glad that that we had the opportunity to play in front of such a great crowd.
It was a huge crowd in Suva last Friday, and that was great support for the Drua women. I love seeing all those faces there. Moses, just one more hurdle to jump before the three-peat is achieved. All the very best to you and your entire squad. Go well, mate. Whanaka.
Thank you, Clarkie, and thanks for everything. Cheers, mate.
A reminder that it's a 4 p.m. kickoff Fiji time on Sunday for the Super Rugby Women's Final, Drua versus the Waratahs in Brisbane. And now, let's head to Clarkie's Corner. On Drua Talk, it's time to see who's in Clarkie's Corner. Well, for Clarkie's Corner this week, I've managed to track down Epeli Momo here at HFC Stadium in Suva. We're not going to talk about the results, I'm going to talk about you. Are you enjoying being back in Fiji?
First of all, Clark, I want to say thank you, and massive thank you to the Lord for great opportunity. After the break, when we come, selected to name the 15 against the best team in the competition.
Where do you come from?
I come from Sambeto in Koromembe in Nandi. That's my village.
And how did your rugby journey start? When did you begin to play?
I was when in my school, I just Form 4. After that, I didn't finish my Form 4, and I go to the village, have some farm, and after I start training. When I start training, and I know this is my talent, so I grab there and I use it. I start my village club.
When you started playing rugby, when you wanted to be a professional player, did you have an idol, someone you looked up to?
Yeah, when I was young, I always look one player, like that's my best player in the world. When I know this is my talent, the rugby, and I know, oh, I want to be like this guy. This guy, we just stay in the same, like Nandi. His name Byrne. That's my best player in the world. In the world. That's my best player.
And you got to know him?
Yeah. I was know him like when I young. When I start my training. I was in the school. That's the thing I was know him. That's, when I get my talent, I know this is my. And one day I cut one photo of him and I put it in my room. And after the walk and everything I do, when I come back in the night and I see, oh, one day I want to be like this guy.
Well, you're on the journey now. You had 4 years in France playing at Montauban. You speak 3 languages. You've got your English, you've got your Fijian, you've got your French as well. Thank you.
That's a very good question. Yeah, I was in France. I was young too. I was going to France. When I arrived in France, I was 20 years old. And I signed for academy. And I do one like school. I don't know, you know that, like they call in France like GIF. You have 4 years to study, and after you get your GIF. So that's the, like you local player to in France. I was in France like 4 years. I was very struggle too, because I was alone in one club. But I have to work harder. As like I was saying before, that's my talent, and I grab, and I look at this guy. One day I want to be like him. So, bonjour.
Well, Epeli Momo, it's great to have you at the Fijian Drua. Keep playing well, and all the very best for the future. I hope you are like your idol one day.
Thank you.
What a great guy, Epeli Momo, and we wish him all the very best for the rest of the season. Now it's time for the Drua Tries of the Week. We're going to start with the men first of all, and a great 5-pointer from the youngest player in the team, making his starting debut, is Akeli Rambitu.
Valentini and Maxi. The ball on the inside was an absolute gem, and what about that? They're going to put it through the hands. Byrne, straight through. Let the crowd tell the story yet again. Bullet Byrne. The Wonder Woman with the jet shoes.
What a match to score a hat-trick. Byrne has superstar written all over her, and I can't wait to see her in her first ever final against the Waratahs women in Brisbane on Sunday, 4 p.m. Fiji time. Well, that's it for another Drua Talk. I'm going to leave you once again with a look at the Fijian Drua men's and women's squads to take the field this weekend. I'll be calling the men's game against Moana in Lautoka on Saturday with Sam Wikes and Namani Nandolo. Looking forward to the Battle of the Pacific. Bye for now. Mode.